Yo, it's the kid, 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 trying to stay alive, trying to be the bin back and be. So this is something I want to try and do on a regular basis. So this is called Trend Merchants Live. So this is pretty much me being a trend merchant. So whatever is trending in the news, I talk on it. I give my thoughts on it, my views on it, and whatever. So yeah, so basically I've fallen victim to the trend merchantry. So on today's show, your boy H.H. Halful, the sexiest, lovely man you've ever seen in your life. We're going to be talking about Will and Jada, the Will Smith meme. We're going to talk about Florida and the breakthrough of Florida with the rising cases of COVID-19 in that Florida state. And then we're going to talk about the UK reopening, because obviously I live between Mars and the UK. So it's going about Boris Johnson, his leadership, and just the states of play with regards to reopening things within the UK. Maybe just an overall COVID-19 discussion. That maybe afterwards we'll take a few questions. So within the next hour, that's what we shall be doing. So before we get into Will and Jada, I just have to put this out there that look up the Breonna Taylor story. So whenever you're done with this, whenever you have time, look up the Breonna Taylor story. It is one of the wildest, craziest things you'll find. As in the way that the police operate in America, they operate like cowboys. It's like basically, I've been playing Red Dead Redemption so right now, and the way the things operate like in the Wild West is how these police guys operate. So if you just do a thing that these police officers produced a no-knock warrant, they bust into someone's house, and you have the right to defend yourself. They bust into someone's house. The guy fired, decided just shooting aimlessly, killed Breonna Taylor. And these guys have been allowed to walk through. And they believe that if enough time passes, no one will say anything. So, yeah, man, it's American police guys are wild. So let's start with our first thing, man. Will and Jada, man. Let's start with this right now. So Will Smith is getting memed. You've seen the Will Smith memes around. You've seen people talk about them and so forth, and it seems as if I'm happy how people are reacting to this. So in case guys didn't know, so let me just give you, because most of you know, but in case guys don't know, let me just give a quick backlog. So during a time, Will and Jada Pinkett-Smith, they were arguing. Things were going difficult in their marriage. Again, I told you marriage is overrated. Marriage is a farce. Don't get married. Married is a fugazi. So things were tough in their marriage and so forth. And during their separation, Jada Pinkett-Smith befriended an R&B singer called August Alsina. They got friendly, and she ended up having sex with him. And once that happened, I think Jada then realized what's happened, and her and Will then came back together. Then August then he released an interview saying about how Will Smith gave his blessing for him to pretty much have sex with Jada Pinkett-Smith while they were actually still married. So yeah, they were separated, but they were not divorced. So this Red Table Talk, where they had this discussion and so forth, you have Jada Pinkett-Smith detailing what happened, about how she wanted to heal August Alsina. But then Will Smith was prodding Jada by saying that, okay, you said that you were in an entanglement, and so it's like, what's really happened? Because this is what we have here. In Jada's defense, because what I have to look at both sides, in Jada's defense, we were separated. No, let me just do Jada's defense, and I'll get back. Her defense was, we were arguing, we were separated. I befriended him. I wanted to feel good, had sex with dude, and so forth. So it is what it is. But in Will Smith's defense and everyone's defense, and why Will Smith he also reacted that way is, yes, we're separated. We never divorced. And Will said, I never went and slept with anyone. That's why he said, oh, I'll get back at you. He said, yes, we're separated, we're arguing, but in Will's mind, sleeping with someone was never even on the cards. Unless we got divorced, sleeping with someone was not on the cards because we were still legally married. They were not divorced. They may living away together, but as Will said, I just wanted to give you time just to sort of do your own thing, but, we were not divorced. So you could argue it was somehow weird adultery, but at the same time, we know that they have an open marriage. So this is just where it gets a bit dicey, because August said Will gave his blessing. So see, now this is where the confusion comes through. So August Alsina says Will gave his blessing. Will is now saying that you got in an entanglement and so forth. So, as I said again, with these things, there are a million lies. There's only one truth. What is the truth? Will, did you give your blessing for August to lubricate Jada, or Will Smith, or Will? Did you never give that blessing, and August is maybe lying or not really telling the truth? So that's where the confusion comes through. But my thing is that, you know, this is the unfortunate reality of becoming a celebrity. Because it's almost as if someone asks that, okay, you can become a celebrity, super famous, you never have to worry about money, bills all paid, money will never be an issue, nothing you do will ever be fully private. All of your private things will be out for the public to critique. Will you take a celebrity? Because I was thinking about that too today, right now. Like, wow, no money issues, nothing like that. But because I'm such a private person, and I don't really like people knowing details about my life, I don't know whether I would take that. But at the same time, it's maybe a good deal. Like basically, if you saw a star in my life, money, no money issues, you can know about my private life, and I have no privacy, man, screw it, who cares? I can live with that. I can live with that. So it's just the reality of what things are, because, you know, people are now into it. Because, and I think so, it was Wesley that sort of said this, you know, earlier on, and because he made a comment by saying that, you know, this isn't a real marriage and so forth. And this cycles back to my issue of marriage. Why marriage, the concept of marriage is it's fake. It's fake. Okay, it's fake. So many things in society, all because it gets told to us that it's real. It's fake. It's not real. This, you see, as I said, this is so complex. That's why I want to hear what you guys think, because I want to just get this out, and I want to maybe hear your comments, because I'm on both sides here. On one side is whatever we need to do to keep us together for the sake of this family, we must do so. So whether we go see other people or so forth, as long as we always return back to this, let's do that. Because this still, as I said, 25 years, it's been tough, but we are still together. We're not divorced. We're not separated. Willow and Jada don't have to grow up in a broken home. We are still together. But on the flip side is, it can be quite warped for your kids to view this, of where, okay, mommy and daddy are together, but I see mommy hugging and having sex with someone. I see daddy hugging and having sex with someone. So of what value is this kind of a relationship? And this is where now we go into detail of, is it natural to be with the same person 24/7? That's what, is that actually natural? You see, we just accept that it is. Now, you must always be with someone 24/7. It doesn't matter. But look at this right now. Their marriage is messed up. They present it as like they're a perfect union because they need to do so because they're celebrities. And Will Smith is so desperate in putting out a certain front. But their marriage is a mess. Of course, it's a mess. And under normal circumstances, see, now this is the key thing. Under normal circumstances, they would have divorced a long time ago. Facts. The only reason why they're together is because they say that for both of our brands, it is important that we stay together and we go forth as a married couple. And I believe the whole thing with the August thing was because it was getting deeper, much more intense, it could have harmed their brand if the relationship was getting a lot more deeper. So then I said to Will and Jada, should you actually be, because I was just looking at you know, the comments on a Twitter feed and so forth, is Will and Jada, should you actually be promoting this as a union? Because see, this for me, I don't think is a healthy marriage. Do you know what is healthy? What if you have a man and a woman who like sex? They enjoy sex. They're almost sex addicts. And they engage in threesomes, in foursomes, sleeping with other people, but they know that their union is strong, but they just enjoy sex, and they enjoy the whole thrill of sex with other people and so forth. It's like there are porn stars who are in long-lasting marriages, because they just view sex as just, you see, they view sex as like eating food or like going to the cinema or something, but their actual union and relationship, now that is a lot more real than just the physical act of sex. So see, now that could make your thing stronger, where you don't have to have any qualms with sleeping with anyone, because you know that now, okay, I can sleep with you because I just enjoy sex. But no, the person I'm in love with is this dude here. But for this is no, that this isn't that. This isn't what porn stars have. This isn't what certain like people who enjoy sex have. This is about an image. Will Smith is obsessed with putting forth a perfect image of what a black family should be. And I think what has now happened is people are now questioning this so-called perfect image that they've put out. And I think he obviously wanted to be like, okay, maybe if we do this whole open thing, it can show how we are evolved and so forth. Because see, but the open marriage thing wasn't really what they both wanted. But they said that can only be what can happen to ensure we keep the brand together. So it was really primarily about the brand. It wasn't primarily about, oh, this can work for us, because I think, as I say that, do connect the dots. So Will's first wife, I've forgotten what her name is. So Will's first wife, I think during the whole Fresh Prince, because he has another son called Trey. So Will's first wife, he was with her and everything. The moment Will broke up with his first wife, because his first wife actually said that, like, nah, I think his first wife said that, I don't love you anymore. Because I think she knew that Will was really into Jada. So the moment that Will broke up she broke up with Will, that moment, Will literally picked up the phone and said to Jada, all right, you're mine. We're together now. So I think Will has always been a thing of like, I think because he had issues in his own family and sort of, he's desperate to put forth a perfect image. But the issue is this: don't try and enforce the perfect image. It will never work. It will always come back and haunt you. Always live truth. Live in your own truth. And I think that is why some people sort of are a bit iffy with celebrity. That is why, when it was so refreshing when did you ever used to watch MTV Cribs? When MTV Cribs, they did Redman did his thing in MTV Cribs, and it was like his real house, but just like some kind of like rundown house. But like, oh wow, we can relate. Wouldn't it be better that rather than celebrities aspire this fabricated perfection, show your imperfections? Show, okay, look, it doesn't work out. This doesn't, see, this right now can actually make people respect them a lot more. Because it's like, oh wow, yeah, this is what we go through, and this is how we're trying to deal with it, So before we move to our next stop, let me just take some of your cues, man. So if this happened in Nigeria, it would be a catastrophe. 1,000%. 1,000%. It would have like this can't happen in Nigeria. No way, because in Nigeria, people are very, very traditional. So this is like to sleep with someone else and you're married in Nigeria. No way. No way. That it would never happen. It would never ever happen. No way. All I'll say is Denzel for the win, the true goat of our generation. Get Will Smith, and that, you see, I have never really aspired to be Will Smith. See, Will Smith is just someone that I grew up with, and I was a huge fan of when, boom, boom, shake the room. He's trying to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I still say his performance in Men in Black is amazing. But I've always found the Will Smith brand a bit funny. Like, as you said, Denzel and Pauletta, that's like a real union. That is like a real union, which is built on realness. It is built on realness. You see, when I look at Will and Jada, I look at Jaden, because I think Jaden sometimes he'll be wearing dresses. I think he said that what's the name of that dude? Is that L something? L the Entertainer or something? So that that's his wife, no, sorry, or his boyfriend or something. It just seems a bit funky the way things are rolling in there. It just seems slightly funky, man. So this is why celebrity relationships should be kept private. You can't. You can't keep this private, because that is the cost or the or what you have to deal with being a celebrity. Unfortunately, that's what you have to deal with being a celebrity. Is nothing you do is private anymore. Your life is now public, and as much as you want to keep it private, it is the sick world we live in. Why are the Kardashians so famous? Because people are obsessed with them. People are obsessed with celebrity. They're obsessed with it. See, for me, I don't give a damn about celebrity, but see, I don't give a damn about the Kardashians. Like, that's what my mom and my sister watch. I just find this interesting because I grew up with Jada Pinkett-Smith. I used to watch A Different World, Menace to Society. So a lot of Jada Pinkett-Smith's films I used to watch from the beginning of her career. I followed Will Smith from the start. From the late 80s, early 90s, I knew Will Smith from the very start. So I know both of them so well. So because I know them so well, I'm far more invested in this than I would with the flipping Kardashians or Kylie Jenner or any of that crap. But when you're a celebrity, people are obsessed with it, man. Oh yeah. I saw. See, but was that fake though? The post that 50 had, was that fake? That's what I know. I'm not sure whether that was real. Also, as people were saying that he probably had sex with Margot Robbie, because I always found that thing very interesting. As Will and Margot, they seem to be very close to one another, and they seem to be very, very cuddly. And he just seemed very, very cuddly with Margot. And when I say, oh wow, I mean, I remember Jada said, "Oh, you've already gotten back at me." So maybe the whole, but she said many times. So how many people has Will been sleeping with and everything? Also, as well, I like this whole thing about Will Smith being gay. Don't like, unless you have had evidence that he's gay. Okay, but if you don't, you can't be making those kinds of accusations with nothing to back it up. You simply can't, you know. Or else encourages starting, bro, they better be to Norwich, man. So Real to say that she is a pedo. She was 45, he was 20, was the son's friend. Because see, I was watching the Joe Budden podcast and everything, and they were having a debate as to, did she take advantage of him? So yeah, she was 45, he was about 20 something, in his early 20s. And like, you see, people say, oh, how can anybody take advantage of me as a guy? I'm a grown guy. But when you do the math, you're still in your 20s. She's in her 40s. So then there's that whole mother-son thing, and you wanting like a mother. He was mentally unstable. They both confirmed he came to them being mentally unstable. So an argument can be said, which is what people have been saying, that Jada, you took advantage of a dude who was a lot younger than you. You have way more experience than him, way more sexual experience than him. And he was mentally unstable, you know? So if somebody is mentally unstable, then they're far more susceptible to you giving them that kind of emotional baggage and need that they yearn for. So, you know, I mean, because see, right now, because Jada has, because I love Red Table Talk, because I watch Red Table Talk a lot, but Jada now has, because she has always presented herself as being, you know, the healer, the motherly person. You come to the Red Table Talk to heal. You come to the Red Table Talk for me to give you advice. How many people going through a tough marriage will want to get advice from Jada now? So now I don't think this destroys Red Table Talk, because it's still an amazing thing, but this does slightly harm the brand. Because again, people will say, okay, if I'm going through any marriage hangups, I don't think I'm looking for Jada Pinkett-Smith to try to help me out of this, man. So that's just the reality there. So let's move on to our next thing, man. And we're going to have the help of dear friends BBC. So should we induct Florida? That's what I want to know. Should Florida be inducted? So this is just the opening piece here, which says, okay, let me make that bigger. Florida is fast becoming America's latest COVID-19 epicenter. The surge in the Sunshine State has been linked in part to young Americans, but that doesn't mean there's no concern. So do you guys remember like months ago? I don't know. No. I think it was maybe like a month ago when COVID was really, really at its height, and many people were in America were sort of like, closing down. Trump was under pressure, and people were saying to Florida, "Yo, close those beaches. Make sure you close those beaches in Florida." And the guys in Florida were like, "Nah, who cares?" And remember what we saw on the beach? Guys were crowded, going out saying crowd and so forth in Florida. And guys said, this disease hasn't stopped yet. And they even interviewed some Florida residents. And this was mainly young people that said, wait, aren't you worried about the spread of the disease? Aren't you going to lock down and isolate like everyone else? Aren't you going to go into quarantine? People said, oh, well, we waited so long for this whole thing, we don't really care about quarantine, so all this stuff. And now we now see that this has now been Florida has now seen a massive surge in cases. So and this is crazy. Let's just read it. So at 34 years old, Mr. Barath does not fall into a virus vulnerable age group, but 14 days after that first contact, he had coughed up blood and checked into hospital. As his symptoms worsened, Mr. Barath says he would wake up in a fever sweat every 6 hours, feeling chills and lightheaded and unable to catch his breath. I couldn't take a big breath without coughing and choking, says. It's like you're running a marathon constantly just by sitting down. Mr. Barath would remain on a ventilator for 8 days. So Florida has been averaging nearly 10,000 new cases per day for the last week. On the 12th of July, the state broke the national record by reporting what the freak? Wow. 15,300 cases in a single day. A Reuters analysis on 12th of July found if Florida were a country, it would be fourth in the world for most new cases in a day. As of 14th of July, over 4,400 Floridians have died due to the virus, and the state's weekly average has risen to 81 people each day by local counts. Because I have two guys I know who live in Florida, in the Florida states. Two guys I know. I think one guy is still in Miami. Critics say the number of deaths is probably higher, as Florida does not, like other states, report deaths suspected as having been caused by COVID-19. The state also has yet to report daily hotel admission rates. The officials are planning to do so. Along with Texas and Arizona, the Sunshine State has fast become one of the regions with the highest surges in the country. So there's a lot of misinformation all over the web about the seriousness of this outbreak. Says, since we don't have a consistent message in our state, let alone our country, there's even more confusion. As cases began rising, Mr. DeSantis in June reversed the decision to allow bars to reopen, but he has refused to require masks statewide, though local leaders in major cities like Miami have done so, and has joined President Donald Trump in emphasizing the importance of keeping the economy open. The way that we've acted after our initial lockdowns has perpetuated the problem. It was a failure because they didn't do it right the first time. And guys, this is the whole thing about this whole thing, man. Is like, we were saying this when this stuff was happening. We were saying this stuff that we're in the middle of a pandemic. The flipping World Health Organization, the WHO, just said we are in a flipping pandemic. Why the F are you out there in the in a beach roaming about? Totally disregarding. And I think this is almost similar to what you've been seeing. Bro, shit. Oh, damn. So, well, hopefully he's fine, bro. Why? When was this? Why? When did that happen? Hopefully he's fine. You see, like this thing is spreading. This thing is spreading, you know, and it's real, you know, because see, the thing about this is that when it doesn't happen to you, the assumption is, and it will never happen to me. It will never happen to me. Oh, yeah, that's just that whole thing. And people are like, I want to have fun, and I am going to put my fun ahead of basic safety, and which is why this whole COVID thing has really been a test. It's been a test of so it's a test of like the governments sending in their messaging, leadership, which is why Trump and Boris have to be put in the brick academy, because those guys have bricked this, because it's about your messaging and telling to people, boom. Because if Trump said unequivocally that this is serious, this is damn serious, everybody must be wearing masks, we are in a pandemic, this is serious, lockdown. But Trump knows there's an election this year, and Trump is one of the big things that I'll be riding on for re-election is how great the economy is. And if I do a whole lockdown, the economy is going to be screwed. So he was like, yeah, well, let the states just do whatever they want to do. So if the states reopen, that's great, because the economy is good. But if anything happens to them and everything, he'll say, well, I never said that they should reopen. I just left them to their own devices, secretly hoping that they'll stay open so that the economy can do well. But it's like just the absolute stupidity of it is crazy. Because I was talking to I spoke to my friend about it weeks ago, and because he lives in Miami, and he was like, yeah, guys are just stupid. Guys are just, that's why I should actually even message him and just show this article to him, and just say, yo, what the hell are you guys doing in Florida? Like, what is the vibe there? Because the thing about it is that, look, I've never been to Miami or Florida, but like, I've seen, we've seen the films, we've seen the images and everything. Miami Beach, women are beautiful. Okay, those Latina women are, ay papi. But look, man, it's like, it's chill. It's chilled out. The sun is shining. So the eagerness is to go out and just have fun. And this COVID thing is new. See, if people say, you know what, there's a nuke coming. Okay, like, no. There's someone, Kim Jong-il is sending a nuke from North Korea. People understand a nuke. Aliens are invading. They're coming right now from planet Krypton. People understand that, okay, a Kryptonian thing is coming to lubricate us. We understand that. COVID, what the heck is COVID-19? Whatever. People are dying, yeah, whatever. People die every day. It's just a flu. It's just a cold. And that is the worst thing, is when people trivialize it. When your leaders trivialize and say, it's just a cold, it's just a little flu, it's not that serious. Then people are like, okay, well, if our president isn't taking it seriously, then why should we? Trump, this has been going on since March. Only in the past week has Trump, for the first time publicly, appeared with a mask. For the first time, he has appeared with a mask, which is insane. Which is absolutely insane. So the lack of leadership is crazy, because if Trump is leading you here, you're screwed. You are screwed, because Trump is a moron. Like, let's just keep it real here. Trump is a moron. But he's an egotistical moron. That's what it is. He's an egotistical moron. For your Real Deal, man, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Real Deal says that not a Florida problem. It's a human problem. We cannot stop touching each other. in the US, civil liberties are high. People don't trust the government. This leads me very nicely, real deal. This leads me very nicely to this, Boris. And this has been the key thing: distrust of the government. So yeah, so I just went walking up and down the street and so forth, because like there's a park like sort of near me, like about 6-7 minutes walk from me, and I went up to that park today. Kids are playing. Kids, and it's just kids all together, congregated all together, all playing, so forth. Guys are walking about, doing their thing. Yeah, so a few people will walk past, but there is massive distrust for leadership and for people in the government. Because first of all, there are a lot of people who hate Boris. I think that he's a moron. So when you already hate a dude has already lied because he told lies during the whole Brexit thing. And people despise him based on the lies he told for the whole Brexit thing. Guys are now like, why should we listen to what this dude said? Because remember, initially Boris Johnson once said herd immunity. Let everyone just get it and we'll just automatically get immunity. Then he himself ended up in hospital with a ventilator. You know? And now guys are saying, because actually the messaging in the UK has been messed up. It's like, bro, what message are you sending? What does go to work if you can mean? That's not a definitive message. Is either go to work or don't go to work, or these are the places that we see that it's safe to go to work. These are the places that are safe that we cannot go to work. Because see, the key thing here is this, because it's something I've been doing. So if you study population control, you wouldn't be surprised. Now that's what people have been saying that. So man, things get deep. Things get deep because people are now saying, you know what if this is population control? People knew about this. Decreased numbers. That's some crazy. That's crazy. But we live on planet Earth. I will not put anything past human beings. I will not put anything past human beings because we live on planet Earth. But yeah, but look, it's like you look at Boris, man, and you see this dude and his government, they are clueless. So people in the UK, they're like, okay, what's the mandate? Can we go to work? Can we not go to work? Because see, the dilemma here is this. It's the economy. John Lewis just said they've had to put away dozens of jobs. So many companies have had to slash thousands and thousands of jobs. And the crazy thing is that just think about the timing. The UK are desperate to leave Europe, Brexit, they were championing Brexit and so forth, and this happens. Imagine the UK going into Brexit during a recession. The UK are either in a recession right now or they're heading into recession right now because the job losses are crazy. The whole world is heading into a recession, which is why I've said that. I don't know what I've been saying to people. This is the time for an internet business. This is the time to engage yourself in an internet. The internet is now the new thing now. And that bricks and mortar stuff is finished. So for my advice for all of you guys right now, this is my advice, man. Find a way and get into the world of digital media or things to do online or become a computer hacker. Do something that relates to computers because right now, those are the skills that people will need. It's all about skills. It's all about skills right now. And right now, the skills that will be most in demand are online skills. Software, the hardware, computer programming, computer science. That is what will be in demand because guys, the world has changed. And as I was walking today, just looking at people walking through, and I said to myself, you know what? Maybe we'll never fully get rid of this. In the same way as we've never fully got rid of AIDS. Someone somewhere got AIDS, and some people say that AIDS was man-made and was created by someone. But there you go. But AIDS, like AIDS just exists, you know? So how do we get rid of COVID? Because that's the thing about this is that it passes on to him, 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 to him. So because I always thought that okay, there will be a time in which okay, a week, no cases, 2 weeks, no cases, because everyone who had it, they've not had it, and you've managed to create a situation where okay, we've now like that the disease has passed through everyone and it's now gone away. The last person has started, no one now has it. So once you now have that bubble, you're like, okay, we protect this bubble till basically no, we protect this bubble and we only allow visitors from outside of this bubble who where their countries also are in the same situation as us, which is that you're COVID free. But has any country announced themselves as being fully COVID free? You know, has anyone done it? I just got my diploma in banking and I'm confused right now. Why should it be confused? Haven't you heard of online banking? Although my local bank shut down, so as many different banks, they shut down because they slashed jobs because they wanted to streamline stuff and put stuff online. So there are a lot less local branches. So now, if you're smart, and I think this is something that my uncle does because my uncle is a bank as well, but be a independent banker and do guys for offshore bank accounts. So look into offshore bank accounts where you have independent clients because that's what my uncle does. So my uncle does banking for these independent guys. So it's not so once you now do that kind of stuff and you can work with these individuals and handle their money on an independent basis, it's just that you just have to find those clients. And it's tough for finding those clients, but that could be a smart thing to do. That could be a smart thing to do. So guys, so maybe last 20 minutes, man, send in your questions for the last 20 minutes, send in your cues. Any questions, feel free. Send me any question you want. Real deal. Let everyone get COVID, produce antibodies, only way. Well, it's goes back to the whole herd immunity thing. And I think that is the idea. But real deal, this is my thing though. Let's listen to the scientists, which is not what Boris did, which is not what Trump did. I believe that's what Angela Merkel did. And I believe that's what the Chinese did, and this is what the Singaporeans did. Let's listen to the scientists because this is what they do. This is their life. For scientists, this is their life. So unless scientists come and say, all right, because no scientists have not come out and said, let's do herd immunity, let's just all create antibodies. That just came from regular dudes. So, bro, you're not a scientist. These guys, biologists, they do this stuff in and out. So if scientists haven't said, yeah, let's do herd immunity, no. Because all scientists have said that, look, bro, we don't know what the hell this is, bro. This ain't something that we've seen before. So, and the thing about science is that, because I did history and philosophy of science for my uni degree, then I did science communication. And what scientists do is that science, they do things based on falsification. So you put forth an argument and it's about falsify. So when a scientist gives you any advice, that advice has been through the ringer. A scientist just doesn't say, oh, well, no, a scientist don't. We have rigorously, because a scientist, they live off testing their theories and make sure that their theories has gone through all sorts of falsifications. And I remember, let me take it back. My uncle is a surgeon. This was months back. So I spoke to my uncle. My uncle was like, are you saying everything fine? And then I asked my uncle, is this thing airborne? This was months ago. My uncle said, man, nephew, this thing is airborne. And that's my uncle who is a surgeon. So he is a full, he said this thing is airborne. Yeah, that mask is cool. And it's in just person to person contact. If you're in a closed and enclosed space, you're talking, particles go through, you can get, so this thing is airborne. So I told you, the world has changed with this thing. It's changed. It's changed. So this is why I was like, my advice to you guys is, guys, look, guys, Zoom, they have increased their business by about 200% in the last few months. In January, no one used Zoom. People thought Zoom was some kind of flipping pornographic status or something. No one used it. So like for my part-time job, Zoom is what we used. Because at the morning when we have our briefing, Zoom is what we use to go through. So Zoom is now the thing, you know. But the world has changed. So I'm not saying that whatever you're going to be wrong, but the way things are looking, I don't know when we're going to be out of this COVID thing. I don't know. When guys can fully go back to school, go back to work, go back to their offices, and so forth. Things have changed. Really, death rates less than 1%. Don't want to mutate. Death rate is less than 1%. He says, I don't want to mutate. No. I mean, look. But I saying that is based off the world. So I think, this is what people are saying that, like, you know, the flu kills as many people as this and so forth. But two things. First thing is, do you want to risk it? Is there any point? that's the first thing. Is it worth the risk? Second thing is, the world has still changed. So my thing though is that, is it worth the risk saying, okay, death rate is less than 1%, let's just go back to work, let's just do our thing, and let's just roll through? Because the thing about it, I told you, like, you have to listen to the scientists. You know, you have to listen to the guys who are experts in this thing, man. So I guess the BLM movement has died. What? You see, you know what I want to say? Like, I never even like calling it BLM, because even that's why I put out my whole thing. Black Lives Matter. Forget about the hashtag. Forget about the whole thing. The Black Lives Matter thing is about African Americans. What role do you have in that country of America? Because the Black Lives Matter it's a racial discussion. It isn't just a discussion specifically about the police brutality. Is just a small iota. It's about history of slavery, who you as African Americans, mass incarceration, the war on drugs, how you've been screwed over by the war on drugs, and all that kind of stuff. So it would be crazy if that whole movement thing dies down. But forget about the whole thing as a BLM movement, because that makes it into this kind of trendy institution, which is stupid. It's about a larger issue with regards to the placement of African Americans in the country of America. And as I've always said, you know, and this is the advice I've always said to African Americans: find your roots back in Africa. It will help. You may say, oh no, Africa, blah, blah, like Africa, oh, Africa's back. Okay, fine. Fight for scraps in America, bro. Continue to fight for scraps. From Boy Valvena, is it becoming not likely that this was made in the lab and we're all effed because it's manipulated and super spreadable, malleable, and adaptable virus? Is this war in the middle? See that, man? It's just that it's a shame that we only have about 15 minutes left. But see, now we're now going. See, now you're hitting the core. Initially, it's like, okay, remember we're saying it was bats. Bats. This was bats. Those damn flipping Bruce Wayne, Bruce Lane, or what's it called? Loose Lane. Bats. No bats. They were like, back to scientists. Scientists don't know what the F this is. These are, forget these government losers. You're not experts. I want the experts. I want guys who 24/7, this is your work. For scientists, this is what they do every day. Every day they're like, these experts are like, what the F? They don't know what this is. Which is why have scientists come out and said, all right, this is what you should do. No, they're not, because they're like, we don't know what this is. Even the WHO, World Health Organization, it was a scientist who said, WHO, you've been giving people wrong advice. It isn't only person-to-person transmission. This thing is airborne. So you have the WHO and governments who are not listening to the scientists who are saying, bro, this thing is airborne. We don't know what the F this is. So maybe this thing can flipping mutate. This is some weird, crazy-ish. So my thing though is this. So are you saying that China made this? Because this was the theory. China made this. Population control. Destabilize the world's economy. They have the cure. See, that's how it really works, is that they have the cure. They made it, they have the cure. They wait until the world is effed up. They then need the cure from China, but China now seeps in and can now put themselves at the very top. Because see, this could really cripple the world. Because remember what guys, maybe this is the fall of the American empire. Because empires rise and fall. Empires rise and fall, like the Egyptian Empire, Greek Empire, Roman Empire, British Empire, the Spanish Empire, and so forth. This has been the era of the American Empire. Is this what cripples the American Empire? COVID? Because look, sports, movies, Hollywood. That's what crippled it. See, imagine if this happened when we didn't have the internet. Imagine if this happened when we didn't have the internet. We would be screwed. Oh yes, bubonic plague, I believe. I believe that's what it is. So I think it is. Guys, look, man, it's effed up, man. It's like, yeah, bubonic plague. It's effed up. China bubonic plague. See, I don't want to express. China bubonic plague in among us. Yeah, look, it's 2020 has been a mess. 2020 has been a complete and total mess. I'm just like, hey, have you heard about the black militia in ATL? Yes, I have. My uncle lives in ATL. I told you, like, that's what I always have to say about uncle. I find my uncle, my aunts, and my cousins live in ATL. But yeah, I have heard about the black militia. I think it's where they had all these guns armed up. Actually, let me even see whether I can actually pull it up. I told you, guys, we're living in crazy times on black militia. Yeah, this is it. Copy email address. Yeah. Guys, we're living in crazy times, man. Because I think there was a war that I think the KKK or something where they wanted to ride through and so forth, and black were like, oh, okay, we're going to arm ourselves now. Because I've always said that America has always felt at the tipping point of being in a race war. Like, it was close during the whole Rodney King era. And guys, I told you, like, I'm just think to myself that the way America, like the elites, the white America elites spit on the faces of African Americans is scary. Because that Rodney King thing was we can spit at you. You'll cry, you'll complain, you'll shout, but eventually we'll move on. Like, they beat the living crap out of a dude on tape. 7 policemen on one dude, they beat the crap out of him, and they all went scot-free. You see, that's what you call psychological enslavement, where we own you still. So we may not own you physically, but we still own you psychologically because we've proven that we still rule. We still rule. You know, so I've always felt like America has always been on the tipping point of a race war. And we have dudes like this. I'm so happy you brought it up, George, because now you have dudes like this. Now you have dudes like this. Yeah, that's a great one. Now you have dudes like this. Dudes, there we go. There he is. There he is. There he is. Smiling with face. Then you have dudes like this who Terry Crews. Let me tell you something real quick about Terry Crews. Terry Crews is one of those dudes who is desperate to keep himself where he's at, and he's frightened of going back to being poor and in the ghetto. 100%. He's so scared and so terrified of going back to the ghetto, he will fight to keep that good white money that he has. And this is similar to John Barnes. Because I say, for Terry, look at the people who are in support of you and look at the people who are against you. Doesn't that tell you something? Because see, this is because for me, I pride myself on thinking independently. You know, and I never want to be a dude that says, "Oh, I only go with the crowd." And guys, you know me, guys, you know how I am the king of I have my own way, and my own way is mostly not the popular way. But during times like this, Terry, if you really cared about Black people during a very sensitive time, have this discussion in private. Okay, I don't agree with this. Let me speak to some of these guys in private, have a private discussion or a private roundtable before I say anything. But no, you tweeted this out because you wanted to prove you wanted to say to, hey, white guys, I'm on your side as well. I need this money for America's Got Talent because he's the new host of America's Got Talent. Terry, do you really think you'll always have that job? There's always going to be a new Terry Crews. There was Eddie Murphy. Then there was Chris Rock. Then there was Dave Chappelle. There's always someone new. It's like you had Denzel, and you had Will Smith, and now you have Michael B. Jordan. There can only be space for one. Can only be space for one. So I just say for Terry, you know, like you have to be very wary and you have to be very scary of these because my brother even was saying to me that like, bro, like guys like Terry, man, when the dust settles, people will remember. People will remember, you know. People will remember. So yeah. We have 6 months of 2020 left with COVID and the financials of the world. Do we get out of it by 2021? And what 2021 will look like? Worst or someone's back to normal? You see, I am one of those guys who, Val, I always prepare myself for the worst. And people say, oh, that's being negative. But this has always been my philosophy. If you prepare yourself for the worst, if the worst happens, you're ready. If the best happens, hey. So it's almost like a win-win situation. Whereas if you prepare yourself for the best and the worst happens, you're screwed. You should always be prepared. In life, you should always be prepared. He who is not prepared will get screwed over. Always have a plan Z. So that's my thing, is that I just prepare myself for the worst. Putting that to one side, so I think the world has changed. I think the world has changed because months ago I said, we'll just look back and say, oh my gosh, oh, look at how the world was back then. Maybe this is how sport is going to be moving forward. Maybe this is just how we will consume entertainment moving forward. Like people are like what's it called? Tennis is the big movie supposed to be coming out in a few months, and they said they're going to delay it again and again and again because Cristiano is so desperate for it to come out in a cinema. But Chris, you might have to think about a home cinema release. Are cinemas going to be open next month? A few months after? You know? Because the thing about it is that you may have a time where, okay, things are cool now, but then things may now spike. Because someone said something about New Zealand, and this is what I thought. I think a New Zealand out of this. So let me just see, because apparently they say New Zealand is coronavirus free. Yeah. So, but it just seems as if that this might be the new, and it's a crazy world. It is a crazy reality that we're in, man. If you was the prime minister, what would you change? A lot, man. Because I would, well, if you're saying prime minister of the UK, well, I'll make this place a lot more inclusive. That's for sure. I'll make the country a lot more inclusive, and I would definitely try to integrate more, because England can be an amazing country, but it's been held back by racist elites. England could be a truly amazing, in terms of creativity, could be superb, because England has an amazing potential based on all the cultures, especially London. Like London is an incredible city, but people just are holding it back, man. Yo, this is my boy from Miami. Infinity, please tell us, what is the mood like in Florida right now? We want to know, what is the mood in Florida right now? Because it sounds like if things are just going crazy there. So what is the mood in Florida there right now? Are things crazy? Are things good? What's the mood over there now? Because apparently there's a spike in cases. So if you could tell us, man, that would be great, man. But okay, let's see. H, do you think people are becoming less human? We are trained to be more diplomatic centered. We're told to shut up and to get in line. I wouldn't say, for me, I just think that, look, and this may be a talk we can maybe have on the next live stream, which is the internet. Even before this whole COVID stuff, the internet has changed us as a society. There is less interaction. For example, you go to a club. What are guys doing in a club? That's what guys are doing in a club. When I used to go to parties back in the 90s, when I was in Nigeria, mobile phones didn't exist. Nothing called WhatsApp or Instagram. So you had to talk. So you had to talk to those girls. You have to really talk and interact. So I think face-to-face interaction is gone. So I think people have become a lot more fake, because online world is fake. It's not like Instagram isn't real. Twitter isn't real. You're not really interacting with people, because the guy who says that racist thing to you on Twitter, then they won't say it to you in your face, because you know that you will break their face open. Those girls, how they look on Instagram, that's not how they look like in real life, because they are putting in filters upon filters upon filters. So I think there is less kind of real, there's less reality happening. So I don't know whether you listen to Minister Louis Farrakhan's message. And my mom even sent this to me. I mean, we can even talk about this. Maybe we should even save this for maybe tomorrow or Friday stream. Don't trust a vaccine. Also, as well, and this is what Farrakhan said. Okay, cool, vaccine. Please test it on yourselves first. Oh no, we want to give the vaccine first to so yeah, we want to give the vaccine first to people in Africa because people in Africa need it more. Oh. So we should get this unknown vaccine first. Oh. We should have the trials first. No. I'm not taking a vaccine. Unless you're susceptible, you're in one of those places where you should, then okay, fair enough. Because if you have to take the vaccine, you have to take the vaccine. But always be very wary and question with a vaccine. Always be very wary and question with how things are operating with the vaccine. Be very, very wary indeed. Be very, very wary indeed. Well, I think, from speaking to my friend and my mom, it seems to be, look, people are not really a fan of Buhari over there, but my friend, he's got back to, because my friend works in law. So he says that, guys are actually back at work. They've been back at work since May. And I think Nigeria don't have a huge amount of cases. So there hasn't been a lot of managing that still needs to be done. So it's almost as if there's no real management to be done because you don't have those many cases. Because once you have many cases, then it's like, okay, now how do you handle this? So Nigeria are just fortunate that they don't have to deal with the kind of numbers that China, America, England, and so much have had to deal with. So do you think racism will ever go away? Never. Like that is stupid. Anybody that thinks that racism will go away are completely stupid. Racism in some form has always existed because prejudice has always existed because as human beings, we are idiots. As human beings, we are stupid, foolish, idiotic fools. We have so much potential. We've created so much. We've done so much for the society, but at the same time, we are like a disease. And one of our main diseases is racism. We judge. To this day, I cannot believe that mixed race people have to live lives as like they're black. And I keep saying to Daniel, and for Daniel, it is what it is. You have to do your thing. But I keep saying to Daniel, you're mixed race. But Dan says, nope, it's how people perceive me, it's how people do with me and everything. But I'm like, okay, cool. But Daniel, you're mixed race. Your mom's white. Your dad is black. That's a fact. So you can't get over that. Okay, it's okay, you are mixed race. It's just the stupidity and the racism of racist white people who have now said, oh, the one drop rule, mixed race people are now black. I'm like, no, they're not. Mixed race people, they're not black. They're half white, they're half black. That's what they are. You just force them to live that kind of way, man. So you end on a racism now. And it's racism, it's a disease that will always exist within the society that we're in. And I've made my qualms about it, when I was young, I was like, oh no, I love everybody, everyone is cool, man. Yeah. I was like, nah, not everyone is cool. There are people who are just idiots. So these phone filters make these girls look amazing, but when you see them, all you say, what's yours is real deal, bro. Those phone filters. And see, this is my thing about this woman is that we can tell. We can tell. We can tell. We can tell when your things are fake. We can tell. It's like, I think maybe women think that we're dumb and we're stupid. That, oh, I bet you can tell. I can tell when you've used a filter and you've not. For instance, like, I edit my videos, so I know what a real photo looks like and what a touch-up look looks like. People know Photoshop. So for women, People will actually admire you more if you go out there and just put yourself out there like how you normally are. But women can't do that. Women are obsessed with perception. Okay, women, a woman would, if you just women, oh, just take a picture, no makeup. They're like, what? No makeup? How do you distrust vaccines but will tell us to listen to scientists? Listen to scientific advice based on this. Now, the vaccine isn't only supplied by the scientists. The vaccine is gone through and screened by the government. A scientist is a scientist. All a scientist has no agenda. His agenda is just science. Who do the scientists work for? Who do they answer to? Who are they friends with? The government official, he has the power to coerce. How many stories have we seen of scientists that, man, I was forced to do this, I was put under duress. This didn't happen. So the thing with the vaccine is, no, that's the government. A scientist is just a scientist. Now, obviously, some scientists obviously have agendas, but most likely, most scientists' agendas are just the thing of science because they're in love with science. Government people are in love with coercion and screwing over the public. That's what they're about. That's what they're about. Okay, so guys, look, it's time to do this thing with each other. But this was fun. This was fun. So guys, if for our next stream, what do you want us to talk about on the next show tomorrow? What do you want us? Because I want to do this again tomorrow. Because tomorrow we're watching a film, but I want to do this again tomorrow. So what should we talk about on tomorrow's show? I know. I'm going to be out of here very soon. Charles about to play. So what do you want us to talk about tomorrow? And I will take in your things, man. Oh wow. So I'm bringing the whole Nazi thing because I may want to also talk a little bit about the whole anti-Semitism thing as well, man. Oh wow, you guys are going deep. Okay, September 11th, porn, God and the devil. Jeez, after death, exorcism. Damn, those are some heavy topics. Okay. I'll go in, man. I'll go in on it, man. I'll go in. Okay, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Watch on the channel, and then I will bring in another big time discussion for you guys. Peace out, stay true, and let's hope Chelsea beat Norwich. If they don't, all hell will fully break loose. Become a Half Hope Sort member and gain access to exclusive videos and also the chance to watch films, anime, or different videos with your boy HH exclusively. Just click below on the join button to join in and become a Half Hope Sort member to gain access to these perks. Just click on the community icon over here to view the new members only posts just for you.